Tim, pardon my scratchy throat. I am amazed at the fact that you've decided to use your time in such a creative fashion. I'm happy that you're not spending too much money. But I'm not a big fan of rock candy. I've never been a fan of barley candy either for some odd reason. But the fact of the science behind it is actually the uber part. Because I remember when I was doing science fair projects, I did a project once that brought me to the provincial level or regional level. And it was about stalagmites and stalactites, which they're done pretty much the same way as, well, not exactly like rock candy, because in this case in French we call it a super soluté. You've got more of the product. You're basically on you're balancing too much of anything inside a liquid, and the liquid can't hold the material together. There's temperature variations. There's a whole bunch of factors that get thrown in, and all of a sudden it starts to crystallize, forming big honking sugar crystals in this case. I remember using copper sulfate for a similar experiment where I created artificial semi-precious gems, but it wasn't really semi-precious. It was just to show the effect, which basically you dissolved it in water, and to dissolve it in water you had to boil it with a Bunsen burner for about, I think it took maybe a minute, and then you let it to cool. And it would eventually, what would happen is that the crystals, the product that you had dissolved in your water, similar to your rock candy, would eventually start crystallizing in the liquid to balance out the amount of liquid versus solid. It's kind of unique. But if you ever want to try an experiment for stalactites and stalagmites, how they form in caves, string, water, and Epsom salt. And you'll have yourself your own stalagmite and stalactite creations. But the fact that as gravity drags through the string, you need to leave some space where you can actually have it drip down on an aluminum foil or wax paper. Actually, aluminum foil works better. And eventually it starts crystallizing and starts creating peaks. So it starts building and building and building. But I don't know if I'll be able to tune in tomorrow to see it. But if I don't, I know I'm going to miss the uniqueness that is the Tim Tracker. That and the epic singing. Anyways, to both of you, from a Canadian who loves you very much and can't get enough of a lot of YouTubers across the world, my name was Nick. Have a nice one.